Hello there everybody, today I'm drawing Greater Lord Rukkhadevata and King Deshret from Genshin Impact. I drew this a little bit over a month ago, and while I was looking through my recordings to find a video to make, I decided that this would be a pretty good candidate. I started this drawing because I was talking to one of my friends about Genshin, and from there we were talking about characters that we like, and their backstories, and we both really liked King Deshret and Rukkhadevata, we found out. And from there she was like, hey, you should totally make a really cute art of them. And I was like, you're so right, because I could do that. And that's how we ended up here. The sketching process was kind of a pain. I don't usually do characters together, interacting together. So I was trying to find a good way to show that they're close and also have their personalities and just kind of have that show through their pose and the artwork. So throughout the sketching process, I was kind of redrawing a lot of things, and it kind of looks like a mess, but the important part is that I know what it's trying to say so that I can eventually go on to the line art and clear everything up. So once I had most of the sketching process out of the way, I moved on to the line art, obviously. Line art for this piece, pretty straightforward, my standard line art style. And I would like to say that I did take a lot of inspiration for Deshret's design from this person and their video. I'm sorry that I have no idea how to properly say their name. But it's a really cool video, and you should definitely check it out. And since Deshret didn't really have a canon design, at least that I know of, it was pretty fun to experiment with, actually. I really liked the kind of bird. I believe it's supposed to kind of symbolize the sun god Ra, so that was fun to work with. I also wanted to add kind of a nod to his pyramids. So I added a bit of a pyramid shape to the beak, which I think is pretty fun. And I also added a lot of that kind of bright blue that you see throughout the desert places that King Deshret had an influence over, which was pretty fun because I really like that blue, especially with all of the other colors going on. I think it turned out really nice, honestly. Moving on to the colors, they were honestly really fun to do. I think that they turned out really, just nice. I don't know. They're pretty basic colors, I guess, but I had a fun time in the coloring process. I just wanted everything to kind of look nice and bright and just like they were just going on a walk in this desert oasis type of thing. For the skin, I did my usual shading style, which is I take the base color skin, and then I'll color pick a usually warmer tone. Sometimes I do a cool tone if I'm adding a bounce light, or maybe the character is sick, or there's some sort of fantasy creature beast thing that has a cooler, a cold skin tone. And then I take that warmer, shadowy tone and add it to places where I think needs shade, or places that I think need to be defined more. Or just places with natural warmth, such as the cheeks and around the eyes and around most joints. I'll also add it, partially because there's usually some shadow around the joints, and then partially because sometimes there's just more warmth there, and I like how it looks. The noses are definitely a case where I just like how it looks. I have very dark undersides of the nose. I'm not really around the nostrils, but I don't actually draw the nostrils. Yeah. And then I'll also usually take a lighter tone for highlights in the corner of the eyes, around the nose and lips, and just anywhere that needs highlights too. But usually not quite as much as I do with shadow. Now, moving on to the lighting, I wanted it to look really happy, I guess. Really, they're just kind of how I pictured it was they're going on this desert walk in this oasis. so that it kind of fit both Rukkhadevata's and King Deshret's themes. And yeah, I wanted to play a lot with warm and cool tones, but I didn't want it to be super warm or like super cool, but it leaned more on the cool, which I'm okay with. But what I did was I added a kind of blue bounce light coming from the bottom of the canvas, or like the quote-unquote floor, and then I had like a sunshine coming from the top, so I used like a bright yellow color, and I think that worked out pretty well. And it looks nice with all the greens and blues, so that's definitely a plus. And yeah, I just kind of cleaned it up with the shading, made it all look nice and shiny and pretty, and just added all the bright colors that make my brain happy. And yeah, that's about it. I think that the piece turned out really cute. Bye!